I spent 15 years in Japan. I was there from 1989 until 2004. And in 1991, through a series of coincidences and happenstances, I had the opportunity to establish the first debt collection company in Tokyo. It was very small, as most companies are when you start out, and over the years it grew. And at the time that I sold the company in October 2004, we had about 800 clients, and we were working about 10,000 consumer and commercial cases a month. From 1999 through about 2003, I ended up giving about 90 presentations all over Japan, talking about debt collection and credit risk management. And I had a nickname. That was the debt collection evangelist. And these 90 presentations were all over, from the north to the south, at the various chambers of commerce throughout Japan. And I have to tell you that for some reason, whenever I give a presentation, I am always slotted after lunch. And so I would give my presentation in Japanese to all the attendees, and I would give them a heads up, and I'd say to them, look, I'm going to talk for about an hour. I'm going to be talking to you in Japanese. It's going to be a little bit difficult maybe at some point to understand me. You're going to hear my accent, and you're going to start to get tired. And so go ahead. If you're feeling sleepy, put your head down on your desk. No problem. Go. You can do that. No problem. But I just have one favor. Don't snore. It's very rude. And with that, I have to, before I start my presentation, I want to give a special thanks to Peter Sorrentino and Heidi and Neil Wood and everyone who has put this wonderful conference together. I've known Neil Wood since 1993, and he has been an absolute inspiration to my life. And I just am very appreciative to be part of the GCS group and to see many familiar faces and to meet many wonderful people from all over the world. And in view of the video that was just shown, which was just tremendous, we sometimes get a little bit overwhelmed with all of the information, all of the technology. We're always trying to catch up on everything that comes out every day. It's impossible. That's all right, because the beauty of being at this conference is that just one little tidbit of information can really have a profound effect, not only on your business or on business opportunities, but on your life. And that's the beauty of being here and communicating together. And so with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the credit and collection trends in the Far East and see where we go with that. First of all, this presentation, I have to tell you, is to say that I took 6 countries. There are 25 some countries in Asia Pacific. What countries should I choose to represent Asia Pacific? I chose China, I chose Korea, Japan, India, Philippines, and Australia. I could have chosen Taiwan and New Zealand, but those countries represented such a diverse aspect to this research project that those are the ones that I decided to look into. I'm going to forecast the amount of credit card debt throughout 2011 and the collection potential through 2011 as well. Data on consumer credit cards was used as the main criteria to formulate the consumer debt landscape. There are so many dynamics and factors that one could look at in trying to understand how debt can be generated. But since we are in many areas of the world a credit society, I felt that credit card debt would be a good indication of where the trends are going. Data was obtained, as I've written here, through many government publications, the Economy Watch, Euromonitor, the Nielsen report and other country risk assessments. Albert this morning had mentioned about CoFast Credit Insurance, and they put out a very in-depth and detailed country risk analysis on all the major countries, and I used that as well. And towards the end, I will also be showing you some graphs that show the number of credit cards and the collection potential in comparison to that of the U.S. Okay. The China has present, as of the end of 2008, China had about 142 million credit cards. And in 2009, they actually had already 200 million credit cards. And you can imagine a 58% increase. So they have really been building and promoting the credit card product very aggressively over the last few years. And it is going to continue. The amazing thing about China is that with this tremendous growth in credit cards and the number of credit cards, at this point, the delinquency rate is only a mere 2%. That is just really mind-boggling when we think what is happening in the U.S. And I'll be showing you a very interesting comparison with India in a little bit. The estimated number of credit cards in circulation throughout 2010 and 2011 are going to be about 230, 240 million cards. And the estimated current credit card debt for the next 2 years, this year and next year, 120 and 130 billion respectively. And then we have that the estimated 60-day delinquency rates in China, they'll stay between 2 and 2.5%. They're not going to vary that much, and that translates somewhere between 4 and 6 million credit card delinquencies over, by the end of 2011. India. We think, India has a very large population on akin with China, and yet they only have approximately 24 million credit cards. That is, if China has 200 million, India only has 10%. And there is a couple of reasons for that, and it's mainly because India is still, by and large, a very strong cash-based society, and even with, although there are very few credit cards, I should tell you that there are probably millions of debit cards. And this is really a very important and a very usual common form of payment for many people in India. And so the number of credit cards that are going to be around for the next year or so are not going to significantly differ. And the reason is that many of the banks are not encouraging their customers and their borrowers to take out credit cards. There has been a huge default rate in India, and that, as I've pointed out here, between April 2008 and March 2009, the default rate rose to about 20%, which is up 6% from a year earlier. And so we're going to see current credit card debt stay at about 15 billion from this year to next year. And that's going, and with the current delinquency rate of about 11%, we're going to see that credit card delinquencies are going to stay somewhere about 2.5 million